How's it going, boys? My name is Aaron. Welcome to a video game console tier list from a PC gamer's perspective. Here, I have a tier list of all the major video game releases from all the way from the Magnavox Odyssey to the Nintendo Switch. I left out more obscure consoles because I don't think anybody, besides maybe BizNerd, is gonna give a shit about where the Fairchild Channel F is gonna place. So yeah, we're just gonna go right into it. But first, before we do that, I got this Sonic the Hedgehog flavored G Fuel. I guess it's supposed to be peach flavored. I like peaches, I like Sonic, and I think the can design is cool. So why don't we try it out? Oh god. Oh man. Alright, well, bottoms up. Oh wow. That's actually really fucking good. Holy shit. Wow, I was not expecting that. I was expecting it to taste like those like peach ring candies that you get, but nah, it's legit it legit tastes like carbonated peaches. It's like peaches like the fresh peaches you get out of the can. Well, fresh, quote unquote. But yeah, that's actually really good. I'm stoked. Nah, this is awesome. So yeah, Sonic G Fuel gets the seal of approval from me. All right. Let's get into the tier list, my guy. The first one I'm gonna talk about, the Magnavox Odyssey. No, Atari 2600 is not the first console. It is actually the Magnavox Odyssey. Now, the Magnavox Odyssey wasn't actually that much of a video game console as we know it today. What it really was it has a little dot, like a little white dot that was on the screen that you would move around with the controller. And you would actually put overlays over the TV, and you'd play the games with those overlays. And it had like little cartridges to swap out to depending on which overlay you'd put on the TV. And it was really, really weird, but hey, it was the early 70s, who fucking cared? So yeah, it had 2-player options, had a bunch of variety games, and that's why it goes straight into C, because it was. Is it even like a video game by today's standard? Well, I guess no, even like back in the day. But because like we had arcades at that point, we knew what a video game was supposed to look like. So in the Magnavox Odyssey was really just like the most crude way to play a video game you could ever have, even like at the time. So it was good for what it pioneered, but by any other standard, it wasn't really anything too special. Up next, here we go. This is a console that most people probably know about and make it as like the real first console, even though it technically wasn't. The Atari 2600. Classic, instant classic. It's one of those consoles that you look and are like, yeah, I know what that is. Even though it's 1970 something. 73? 77, I was way off. So, this console came out in 1977. It was the first like real introduction to video games in the home. The graphics were very crude. Like, you could barely make out what's going on. Usually, it was a lot. But there's a lot of hits, like Space Invaders found a home on the Atari. Adventure found a home on the Atari. Pitfall, that was another good one. But it's also the console that really pioneered stuff like the Donkey Kong and the Pac-Man ports, which are a very big contribution to the video game crash of '83, as well as the infamous E.T. for the Atari 2600. So, for what it pioneered, the technology that it brought, and it finally brought like actual like real games to the home, it goes into B. And hey, honestly, in my opinion, the Atari is still fun to play today. I don't know about y'all, but I still have some fun on the Atari. So yeah, B tier. Let's move on. Okay, the Intellivision is next. Oh boy. So I don't actually know that much about the Intellivision, other than it had, it was interesting. It was really one of the only competitors with the 2600. It didn't really have any games that stood out. It had a voice synthesizer that was really weird. It definitely ahead of its time, but it also had a little. If you look at the controller, it had like a fucking number pad. Like it was like a phone. Like this started the fad where controllers looked like phones, and it was really stupid. So for that, I'm putting it in D. I'm putting it in D because whose idea was it to put a phone on a fucking controller? To be fair, it was the 70s. I get that, but come on. And next we have 1982's ColecoVision, Where's the ColecoVision? There's the ColecoVision. Is that the ColecoVision? Wait, let me look. This is the ColecoVision. The ColecoVision was a 1982 console. I'm not really sure if it has, off the top of my head, if it has any relation to the Intellivision. I'm just gonna put it right with the Intellivision. It doesn't really have anything stand out. The joystick was really like stiff and hard to move around. It had a fucking number pad, and yeah, that's the ColecoVision. And keeping up the trend of the tried and true number pad format, we have the Atari 5200. Yeah, it's going in D as well. It was such a setback from the such a setback from the 2600. People, even after it came out, people still played the 2600. That's how fucking bad this thing was. But it did have a port, so actually that and the 2600 had a port where you can plug in a Sega Genesis controller and play it that way. So it wasn't all bad by the time the Genesis came out, but at the time there was really no reason to buy the thing. It was quite literally useless. Third generation of consoles. Wow, we're really getting through this. You know what? There's really nothing else we can do than start with the classic Nintendo Family Computer, or the Famicom. This was a Japanese-only console, which would later become the Nintendo Entertainment System in the United States and in Europe. So it had everything. Honestly, there's really not much to say about it, because anything you can say about the Famicom, you can probably say about the NES as well. Because, Famicom, honestly, Famicom gets an easy A, and so does the NES. The NES had, Famicom just because it was a good console, but the NES gets an A tier because that's the console that brought back the industry from the fucking toilet that it was flushed down. After the video game crash of 1983, it brought Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Mega Man, all these classic games that we now know of as these, big mainstream titles. Great console, still fun to play today. Great legacy, and it sold Nintendo as a household name. And now we have the Atari 7200. Terrible. It's just, why? Atari, did you not learn your lesson? Like, I get it, you wanna continue to be in the console race, I understand that, but you can't keep making number pad controllers, man. You can't keep making number pad controllers. Terrible excuse for a console. Well, actually, I didn't even call it terrible because the hardware was alright. Hardware was on par with the NES, all things considered. Graphically, you couldn't really tell much of a difference. The thing was huge. It had a little. You guys ever see that AVGN video where he opens the compartment with the beer inside? And that still cracks me up to this day. The 7200 really didn't have any other reason to exist other than Atari desperately trying to stay in the console race. So it gets a D tier for alright, whatever. Wow, I'm noticing a trend with Atari consoles in D tier. I hope that changes. Probably not though. Here is the Sega Master System. Now this is a really interesting console because it's still selling today. The Sega Master System is still on sale in places like mostly in South American countries like Brazil, but the Sega Master System sold, well, it didn't sell great in the US or in Japan. It sold amazingly worldwide, had a lot of great games like Alex Kidd, other classics like that. So I'm gonna put it in C tier just for the influence that it had around the world, not really as much in my region specifically. But I'm gonna give it a C tier because it's clearly a good console if it's been selling as well as it has been. Oh wait, no, I forgot. We have the Game & Watch. I'm gonna include the Game & Watch in this. So the Nintendo Game & Watch. I can see that my nose is, part of my face is ghosting a little bit. I'll fix that in a minute. So the Game & Watch was an interesting little handheld. It had an LCD screen. It was like what those little Tiger Electronic games were, but before they were irrelevant. Game & Watch for really pioneering the handheld thing. I'm gonna put it into C. Pretty cool. Also, the games are still pretty fun. All right, what's next? First, I'm gonna close my fucking blinds. Give me a second. Okay, hopefully that's better. I look a lot better. There we go. Alright, the 4th generation of consoles. Alright, here we go. First, we're gonna start off with the Sega Genesis. The classic, the amazing Sega Genesis. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. And that's true. It did. It had arcade-style ports. It had Sonic the fucking Hedgehog, my guy. Sonic the Hedgehog, Peach Rings, G Fuel, Buy today, only $10.99, I think. I don't actually remember. This fucking thing started on the Sega Genesis. It also had amazing games like Shinobi 3 in particular. Mortal Kombat had an uncensored version on the Sega Genesis. So many amazing things happened to the Sega Genesis, and that is why Sega Genesis goes straight into S. Literally the best console at the time. I sound like a biased fanboy. That's because I am. I love the Sega Genesis. Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3, and Knuckles. What other things have? Honestly, the marketing campaign on its own can be seen as a plus for, because it was so entertaining to watch these dudes just diss on Nintendo every chance they got. And it was amazing. It was awesome. It was so funny. Genesis does what Nintendo don't, man. I still bump that trailer to this day, bro. If they made like a full song of it and put it on Spotify, I would listen to that shit daily. Super Nintendo and the Super Famicom. Easy A. Right with the NES. Dude, the Super Famicom and the Super Nintendo, while technically different, they are the same they are the same in terms of like you know, games, like, you know, they're similar, all right? Don't get mad at me. Purists, do not get mad at me in the comments. Okay, I get it. They're different, but for the sake of this list, they're gonna be treated the same. So Super Nintendo had things like, you know, we had Link to the Past on the thing. We had Donkey Kong Country, which was huge. Yoshi's Island. A lot of amazing games. You can have fun. You literally play the Sega Genesis for hours, man. Super Nintendo for hours, man. It was insane. It had a lot of good games. A lot of my favorites on the Super Nintendo. I like Mega Man X. Just a good console overall. Really, if you didn't have a Genesis, Super Nintendo was the next best thing. And even though it didn't end up beating the Genesis in sales at the end of the console war, I still say Sega Genesis was way better in pretty much every way. Yeah. I think the Super Nintendo was just a tad bit stronger in terms of power. So that's something I gotta give it. TurboGrafx 16. Not a lot of people know about this, surprisingly. It's I guess it is a more obscure console, but it is considered a major release. So I'm putting it into B because actually Nah, C. It didn't really have too many heavy hitters. It had a lot of good games, but it didn't really have too many like system sellers that made it pop out in the mainstream. In Japan, it was known as a PC engine. I'm not really sure how well it did out there, but in the US, we got a TurboGrafx 16. And I'm sorry, I just got an email. I'm not gonna look at that right now, but yeah, I'm gonna put the TurboGrafx 16 in C just because they didn't have a lot of heavy hitters. There's not really a game that you can like talk about and people think, yeah, TurboGrafx. So I'm putting it in C just for that. Still a good console, pretty powerful, really nice control game, nice control scheme, good games. Yeah. Oh god. The Philips CDI. Terrible. That's really all I have to say about it. It wasn't good. It had like all the games on it were horrible. And it was treated more like a DVD player than a game console. Terrible, terrible, terrible. No reason to exist. You're in F. No one likes you. Oh, the Neo Geo. Neo Geo. This is an interesting one because the Neo Geo is an SNK console. It had games like accurate arcade ports of SNK games like Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, that sort of thing. It was awesome for fighting game fans. I'm putting it in B just because it was there's a lot of fun games on that thing. SNK is a great company. Now listen, for all my fucking Smash fans out there, SNK is not as important to history as you guys make it seem. A lot of fun games, really innovative for the fighting game community, but not historically. It's easy to forget about. All right, not that important. Still a good console, but guys really gotta stop overestimating just how important it is to the history. It's an interesting part of history, don't get me wrong. I'm rambling too much, but still, B tier. Sega Pico was an early childhood console for little kids to play video games. It came out, fourth generation of consoles. It's also the only game console to have a Pokemon game that isn't Nintendo, unless you count mobile phones, which I don't. So for that, it goes straight into D. There's really not much to say about it. It has Pokemon. That's it. That's literally it. the 5th generation of consoles. Here's an interesting one. This is the birth of like 3D games, which is insane to think about. So the first one we have is the Nintendo 64 from 1996. I don't like Nintendo 64. C. It did a lot for the industry. It really revolutionized 3D gaming. It, you know, had Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and a lot of good games. But, like, god damn it, that controller kills it for me. I cannot stand, I hit the mic, I'm sorry. I cannot stand the N64 controller. It is so unbelievably bad. The joystick, I feel like I can snap it off with the minimal ease. The buttons don't feel good. The triggers are gross. You have to hold it, like, you don't hold it like this like a normal controller. You hold it like this. And, oh god, I hate it. Plus, it just had a lot of shovelware, really. The 3D was really treated more as a gimmick than like a revolutionary thing, which, you know, I kind of get it considering the time frame. But, oh my god, dude. The Nintendo 64, if they just brought everything to the N64 to the Switch or some other platform, and I never had to touch an N64 again, I'd be very happy, because I do not like it. Thankfully, we have things like Virtual Console and emulation, so I can play these games without needing to fuck with the controller. But yeah, that's my placing. Mid-tier console, terrible. I hate it. I'm only putting it above because of what it did for the industry and technology as a whole. That's it. All right, that's my rant about the N64. I'm sorry. That's how it be. Now we have one of the best-selling consoles of all time, the Sony PlayStation, or the PS1 as it's known as nowadays. Sony PlayStation gets an easy A. This thing was insane. It had such a good variety of games. RPGs thrived on this thing. Metal Gear Solid, GTA, so many amazing games had great entries on the PS1. It sold over 100 million units. And just it started PlayStation as a brand after its terrible breakup with Nintendo. So yeah, no, it's really no contest that PS2 gets an easy A. Atari, just go home. The 3DO. I'm gonna put it into I don't know, just because I really don't know anything about that's a 3DO, right? See, even I'm like, I don't actually know anything about the 3DO, other than like it had a few, like, it had games similar to what the Sega CD had, but you know, it was like its own console. I don't know anything about the 3DO, so I'm putting it into IDK just so I don't say something stupid accidentally. Let's do handhelds real quick, actually, because I keep missing a lot of handhelds. Let's start with the Game Boy. The Game Boy goes easy B. A lot of good games, a lot of good titles. It was fun to play. It was, you know, compact. You can fit the thing in your pocket. Kind of. I mean, girls can't because girl pockets suck, but, you know, us men, we could fit it in our pockets. It was huge, though. It didn't have a backlight. It was just green. The screen was just green. You needed a light to be able to see what's going on. And that's why the Game Gear, that's what the Game Gear did well. Did kind of well, just because the backlight. I'm putting them in the same tier just because the Game Gear had a lot of good stuff, too. I don't really know any specifics. It had the handheld ports of the Sonic games, which are really fun. And it was just, Game Gear was cool. It was huge. The Game Gear was cool. Where's the Atari Lynx? Is the Atari Lynx in this list? Oh god, I hope not. Oh, the Virtual Boy. I'm actually not sure where to put the Virtual Boy. Because on the one hand, Virtual Boy really brought VR to the mainstream, which I'm forever grateful for because I fucking love VR. And, but like, you know, the console itself was pretty bad. I mean, that Wario game is pretty good. You know, I'm gonna put it in D. I'm gonna be generous, I'm gonna put it in D. The Game Boy Advanced, easy A. Easy A for the Game Boy Advanced. Game Boy Advance is such a good library. Like, even after the DS came out, it's still getting good games. I'm not sure what this is. That's Nokia. That's a Nokia handheld. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what that is. All right, we'll continue we'll continue the handhelds as time continues. The Apple Bandai Pippin. I gotta be honest. I don't know what the fuck this thing does, or what it is, or what it has. I'm gonna put it in IDK. I know that the controller is kind of ass. But like, I don't know anything about the console other than it was really stupid expensive. But I'm just gonna put it in IDK because I don't know. Oh, Generation 6. This is gonna be fun. Oh god, you guys are gonna love me or hate me for this. Let's start with the Nintendo GameCube. Alright, I'm gonna piss a lot of viewers off. The GameCube is overrated as hell. GameCube is really not as good as people say it is. For one, it had terrible third-party support. The first-party offerings were, well, some of them were really good, like Wind Waker, Melee, all that. They were kind of lacking in terms of what the other consoles were offering at the time. It was considerably weaker, and it's also Nintendo's second worst-selling console of all time. So I'm gonna put it into C, because, you know, it was better than not having any console at all. But, you know, it's not really all that great when you look at it from an objective standpoint. Oh man, now we get to the best. Now we get to it. Oh, the Xbox. Oh, I love the Xbox, man. The original Xbox is my bread and butter, man. Halo, Halo 2, Prince of Persia, Sonic Mega Collection Plus, even though that was multi-platform. But God, the Xbox was so fun. I played it. This is my first console I've ever had as a kid. I played it non-stop, man. It was insane. It's also the most powerful of it was the most powerful of the consoles of all the consoles available at the time. I have to give it an A. I have to give it A, man. It was just like, it's probably nostalgia talking, but like, goddamn, dude, this really solidified Xbox as a household name, and Microsoft was in the gaming market with this console. And even though they're kind of lacking now, but although they have been giving some pretty good PC offerings, this is where Xbox started, and god damn it, they came in with a fucking bang, my guy, dude. Xbox was amazing. Sony PS2, I feel like it's a crime to give the PS2 anything less than an A, because god damn it, the PS2 is the top selling console of all time. A lot of good games, a lot of good third-party offerings. Persona 4, which is a really good game that I like. Don't come at me, weebs. Just because I like one anime game does not mean I'm gonna like them all, okay? Chill. But anyway, PS2 is great. Homebrew potential is amazing nowadays. Same with the Xbox. And yeah, just a solid console overall. I didn't have it growing up. I mean, I did at my dad's house, but you know, I only got to play it every other weekend, and even then, it was I only had a few games for it. So yeah, PS2, easy A, good console, good console. The Nintendo DS, Nintendo DS, man. Ah, my God, I have to give it. Fuck it, dude. Nintendo DS is not anything less than an S. Nintendo DS is such an amazing handheld, dude. Look, think about how much influence it had. It sold over 100 million units. Had the best Pokemon games on the thing. There's some of the best games from my childhood are on this thing, man. I love the DS. 3DS gets the same treatment, dude. 3DS is S tier. The DS line of consoles was just such a special and memorable thing for a lot of people my age, and it deserves to be nowhere else than on top. I know I sound like a fucking shill, and I 100% am, but I'm sorry. That's just how it be, man. Hey, if you don't like my opinion, go to someone else's tier list. PSP? I don't know. I don't know shit about the PSP, I'll be honest. I never had one. I never knew anybody that had one. We all had a DS. I don't know anything about the PSP, man. Other than the fact that, yeah, it existed at one point. Probably. Gen 7. The greatest console generation of all time. Let's start with the Wii. The Wii is probably one of the most influential consoles of our generation. It had Wii Sports, Mario Galaxy, Skyward Sword, other things. But that's why I go straight into B, because the motion controls don't fucking work all the time. I don't like motion controls. Listen, I like how the Wiimote kind of like subtly influenced how VR controllers work now. But god damn it, when it's on a flat screen, I don't like it. I don't like motion controls. I don't. It's going into B for the amount of influence that it had on people like me, or on people my age rather. But it's also lower because fuck the Wii, man. I hate motion controls. If I could play Wii games without needing motion controls, I'd be so fucking happy. But I can't, so... oh, we skipped the fucking Dreamcast! C. Everything it had was ported out elsewhere like 2 years after it came out. Not great. It was also Sega's last console. Oh my god, you guys are gonna hate me for this. Xbox 360. Xbox 360. You know what? Fuck it. You know what? You know what? You know what? No. Fuck you guys. Xbox 360 gets its own fucking tier, dude. This is God's console. This is the console of the Lord. Alright? The Xbox 360 had some of the best experiences you could ever have playing a video game. It had the Halos, it had your Gears of War, it had some of the best places to play multiplayer, the best way to play Call of Duty. Like, oh my god, dude. For kids my age, this is like for the hardcore gamers, quote unquote, this was the best way to go. Even though they went casual later down the line. Damn, man. I'm sorry. I sound like a shill. I 100% sound like a shill. But, holy shit, dude. I love the 360 so much. I can't even express how much I love this thing without sounding like a fucking fanboy, which I am. But the 360 gets a tier, 100% gets a tier of its own. I love the thing so much. I can go in, I can make a whole other video about why I love the 360 so much. But yeah, 360 gets an easy, gets its own fucking tier. Its own fucking tier, alright, man? That's it. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry, but still. Alright, the PS3. I actually didn't get a PS3 until recently. Just because I didn't grow up with it, and I just didn't really have anything that interested me. But I got it because I wanted to play Persona 5. I hated Persona 5. But hey, I still bought the PS3. And it goes into B tier. I like it. I like the PS3 a lot. It has a lot of good games. It has Last of Us. It has God of War games, Ratchet and Clank. A lot of good first-party offerings. And also, despite it initially flopping at launch from the $600 price point, a lot of gizmos that didn't really need, it did end up beating the 360 in sales at the end of the console race, which is honestly insane to me. But you know, I still love the PS3. I think Gen 7 is probably my favorite console generation, just in general. So yeah, PS3. Well, you know, the UI is annoying to use. You know, a lot of the games, like, you play it once, you play it a million times, sort of thing. But I still like it a lot. So yeah, it's an easy B. A PS Vita. I don't know. No, I don't know anything about the Vita. All I know is that it had a lot of games that nobody really cared about, and Sony really neglected the thing. So I'm just gonna put in I don't know, just because I don't know anything about it. Other than that, Wii U, the Xbox One. They really fucked that one up. They really screwed up the Xbox One. They marketed it as like an all-in-one multimedia console, and I get it. I understand, but like, come on, dude. We want to play games. We don't care about TV. Xbox One. Xbox One gets a D tier. There's so many things that are so frustrating about how the Xbox One was treated. And even now, like with Xbox Series X, it's like, dude, all your games are on PC now. There's no reason to buy an Xbox at all. And it's just, you know, the marketing was terrible. The controller's really nice, but it's not as good. It's not as good as the 360. It was considerably weaker than the PS4, and there's no reason to buy the thing. It had no games. It really didn't have any games. Now, the PlayStation 4. That gets an easy A, dude. PlayStation 4 is amazing. I never owned one. I never really cared to own one, but for the people that do own one, have told me like how amazing it is. The great games, Spider-Man, dude, God of War, a lot of awesome third-party offerings. The controller is really comfortable, and it lived a pretty good life, man. I mean, of course, the PS5's coming out. I have no idea how well that's gonna do. Same with the Xbox Series X, although Series X is probably gonna flop. But PS5 looks kind of promising, and it's really sad to see that PS4 go because it's been such an icon recently. But yeah, PS4, great console, easy A tier. Ooh yeah. Okay, the Nintendo Switch. I'm actually really conflicted about the Switch because when I initially got it, I loved the thing. It was amazing. It was so fun to be able to take console quality games with you anywhere. But now it's been like 3 years later, the gimmick's kind of worn off. I don't really need to leave my house that often because I'm doing online school and everything I do is online now, even with quarantine going on. So, and I have a gaming PC. I'm a PC gamer, dude. I don't really need to fuck with consoles anymore. So in the first party offerings, I've played them all. I played all the ones that matter, and there's really nothing else coming out for the thing that we know of. So it's like there's no reason for me to really keep the thing around. I only keep it around on the slim hope that we get something good coming soon. So yeah, no, I'm sorry, Nintendo Switch, but you're in C. Well, guys, that's it. That's my my gaming console tier list from a PC gamer's perspective. I just built a new machine a few months ago, and I love it. It's amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Do keep in mind that this is all my opinion and how I see it. I do love gaming history, and I study it all the time. So I appreciate you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe, leave a like, comment something nice about how you think of this tier list, or comment something I forgot to say, or because I'm a dumbass or whatever the hell. All right. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. See y'all in the next video or live stream, because I've been on Twitch again, twitch.tv/the_anonym. You'll find it in the description. See ya.